guys! This week's video is gonna be kind of weird. Basically, I'm going to be doing a Q&A that lasts all week because I am also doing a show. I am doing The Crucible that's going to take up like the majority of my week and the majority of my weekend. So basically, because I don't have time to make like one long video at one certain time, I'm just going to be asking for questions the entire week and basically answering those questions whenever I can throughout the week, probably when I get home from school. So this is the first night, this is Monday, and we're starting off with a lot of questions. So let's get started. So the first questions are coming off of Facebook, so I'm just going to start answering those. The first one is, how can you enhance small eyes? Yes. So, with someone that has small eyes, I really like to over-exaggerate this little bone right here. So this is like your brow bone, and this is what I like to call your crease. People with small eyes normally have their crease right about here. And then what I do is I like to bring a line like a smoky eye, and instead of starting it right at your crease right here, I typically like to go maybe like a little bit up, starting like around right here, and that just kind of makes it look like your crease is a little bit bigger than it is, and that makes your eyes come out more. Another thing that really helps is really finding, guys, my hair is not doing it today. So another thing is really finding like what eyeshadow matches your eye color, because when you have kind of small eyes or eyes that aren't exactly the same, which I have eyes that aren't exactly the same, and you want to really make your eyes pop, and that's like the goal of your makeup, you want to find an eyeshadow that kind of plays off of your eyes. So with me, I really like to do purples, I like to do pinks, I like to do blues and greens and just really vibrant colors, staying away from like yellows and browns and things that kind of just like bring my eyes down. And everyone, I know there's a spectrum on like, oh, well, if you have this color eye, then you need to wear this, and if you have this color eye, you need to wear that. I don't really go by that. I think everyone has a different like eye undertone. No one's exactly the same. And so I just kind of like to go off of, this looks really good on you, this is what makes your eye pop. Another thing that I can suggest is, a lot of people use highlight right here and go up. I actually do. But when you have really small eyes, that can actually make your eyes look smaller and can also make you look a little aged. So what you want to do is actually pop that under your eye and then exaggerate a waterline. So you're going to want to put glitter or a white or light pigment right on your waterline, and then go in with a darker shade right under that and exaggerate the waterline. Another thing you can do is also pop a bright, pretty pigment like right in the center of your eye instead of doing your lighter pigment over around this corner of your eye. So those are just like little things that you can do to make your eyes look fuller. Eyebrows are also very, very big. If you really take care of your eyebrows and you trim them and you put them on well, then your eyes automatically look bigger. Same thing with your nose. If you go way overboard on your nose contour, you're going to have no eyes. But if you really only bring in right here with your nose and don't really touch it up as much, as I like to say, and you don't really do a full extended contour, then your eyes, at least I feel, look bigger than they naturally are. So our next question is, what do you like most about doing makeup and costuming, and why? So, a big thing that I like about makeup and costuming, and something that I've like really been into and like one of the big reasons I started doing makeup and costuming is because it's almost like you're making different people, and you're making different characters, and you're making this person who looks like this into someone who looks like a god, you know? Or you're making someone that looks like this into someone that looks like completely different than who they are. And it's almost like you're creating someone's like alternate identity or like alternate point of view or alternate reality. And I really like that. And I've always just been like really into fashion. I know like I had like a weird childhood. So like half of my childhood was fashion, half of my childhood was like punk rock, do whatever. But it really just comes down to I like to make people exaggerate what they have and find something in them that they didn't know was there before and that they can play off of. So say I'm making a character for theater and I have to work with someone who has never even had makeup on before. I love doing people like that because it's like this is someone that they didn't know they could be. It's a lot of fun, and I don't really know how to explain it, especially because the fashion sense that I have is fashion sense that a lot of people wouldn't think of as fashion, and it kind of like it's a very global type of wear. It's not just, oh well, I get this from New York, or I get this style from San Diego, or I get this style from Fresno. It's all just kind of mixed into one giant clutter. And I think that's what's great about it, is that when you do makeup and costume and you do hair, you can really, you need to be able to know about all these different, like, fashions. And you need to be able to know about all these different techniques. And I think that's, like, something that also really just interested me, is that I can be so many people with just a makeup palette and some foundation. Next question. What encouraged you to start doing this as a hobby? I'm honestly not sure. I know my mom probably had a lot to do with it because she was like always into hair and makeup, and she was a hairstylist. And she had a lot of friends who were drag queens. But I think something that also pushed me is that when I came to San Diego, everyone looked the same, especially in Ocean Beach. Like all the little kids wore the exact same things, and like no matter what I did, I always felt like an outsider. I always felt like I was wearing clothes that no one else would wear. I was wearing glitters, and I bought expensive shoes, but they were the wrong expensive shoes because no one else was wearing them, you know? And it was hard. And I think what encouraged me to get into makeup is the fact that I could say, I'm doing this before you, and I'm doing this at 10 years old, and you're not, and I look good. And it was really more of a, I didn't think of it that way at the time, but it was really a way for me to boost my self-esteem, especially with all of the hospital issues that I had going on at the moment. I was going to the hospital all the time, and when I wasn't going to the hospital, I just always felt sick, and I always felt like not welcomed at school and not welcomed anywhere. And for me, it was a way to say, well, screw you, I'm better than you. And screw that, I can do something that you guys can't do. And that really formed into almost like a shield for me to be able to be like, I look stunning, even though I don't feel stunning. And that's really what got me into makeup, I think, is the fact that I had that, and the fact that I had something to really cling on to when nothing else really seemed to interest me. Do I find what I do special? It's hard to say. I think for me, I find it kind of special because not specifically that I'm a young girl doing makeup at fashion shows and doing makeup at theater, and it's not the fact that I'm like so versatile in the styles that I can do. I think it's just special because I have my own unique way of handling people. I have my own unique personality, and I think it's almost refreshing to get someone who actually wants to talk to you when you sit down in their chair. And I know a lot of people are actually models. The last show I did were like, wow, you're actually talking to me, and you're actually talking about things I want to talk about, and you're not afraid to start singing that stupid song on the radio, and that's like really funny because I want to start singing with you. And I think that's kind of what makes it special, is that it's not so much that I can go and, you know, fix a cosplay dress. It's not that I can go and fix a theater dress, and it's not that I can go and do theater makeup and sci-fi makeup and special effects, and it's like it has nothing to do with that. It has to do everything with just the experience of being able to like talk to a person and being able to have fun, because that's something that's like I kind of noticed isn't too common. It's always just like, you're here, sit down, let me do my thing. And I don't really like that. I don't like that take. I like being able to create a connection with someone, because then I get to go and say, hey, do you need your like outfit, makeup, hair, whatever management done for this event? And they'll remember you more if they had some type of connection with you. So that's kind of what I think makes the entire experience of working with me special, if that makes sense. And not to be like, you know, like, oh, I'm special. Like, that's the only way I can like put that into perspective, because anyone can learn how to do tons of styles of makeup, or tons of styles of fashion, or tons of styles of theater, or tons of styles of anything. Anyone can learn how to sing and dance, and, you know, it doesn't take a lot to beat all the odds. If you think about it that way, it doesn't take a lot. But what does take a lot is to have the courage to be vulnerable enough to say, I want to actually have a connection with someone while they sit down and I work with them. What are your plans in regards to school and the beauty and fashion industry? Do you want to be a stylist, makeup artist, or do the business side of it, or both? Yes. Okay. This is when I've like really been going over with myself and have been telling people since I was like in 7th grade. So I want to do everything, basically. I don't like limiting myself. I want to have the experience and the knowledge to do everything. And when I say that, I mean I want to go to cosmetology school or beauty school. A lot of people are using cosmetology school now because beauty school is kind of an old-fashioned term, and it's more like, oh, just makeup and hair, when cosmetology is like a wide range of things. And then I also want to go to college specifically for business and advertisement, because I want to have my own company and my own business, and that's kind of what Makeup and Young is its own thing. It's its own like entity, and I work with other people, but I'm still my own freelance person. I'm still my own freelance business, and that's something that I really want to broaden. That's something that I actually want to make into like a shop, hopefully, and that's one of the main reasons I'm going to LA. Another main reason I'm going to LA is because I love working on the runway. I love working like backstage. Backstage is my thing. I love working with models. I love working with actors. I love working with like anyone. I love just being there constantly. And the difference between being at a show and at a salon, if you don't know the difference, a salon is, you can take your time, and depending on what the customer orders, I feel like you can't be as creative, and it's kind of like very repetitive. unless people book like a special event. And then with a runway show or a theater show, it's always changing with whatever show you're doing. And then on top of that, you always have your time limits, you always have that like stress, you always have that like adrenaline rush, and that's something that I feel like I need. Like I need that. I need to have to wake up at like 3 in the morning after getting home at 1 because I have to do a fashion show. Like I love it. The stress feels good to me. Even though that's like crazy to say. So that's kind of where I want to go. I really, I'm hoping to have my own business so that I can work with other people. So I don't want to limit myself, and I've never liked just the idea of just doing this or just doing that. I'm definitely doing both. And I'm just seeing where the dream takes me. How many years or months did it take to accomplish your goal, and what was your goal in your makeup history? Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, we're getting a little spicy with these questions. Okay. So, goal. I'm gonna say I haven't reached my goal yet. Because, well, no. It's not one goal. I'm gonna start off with that. It's a lot of goals. If you're talking tool belt wise, tool belt is, what I know how to do, then I'll never stop with that. I'll never stop, like, broadening the spectrum of what I know. That tool belt is gonna grow and grow and grow and grow. I think within, like, the past 3 or 4 years, I really amped it up with how much I'm wanting to learn and learning, and how many videos I'm watching, and like how much I'm really pushing myself to get out there and learn new things and be able to do those things and have the supplies to do those things. So, it's never older. It's never, I can't English. It's never over. It's never, oh, I learned everything I need to learn. I'm done now. And as far as, end goal is, have my own shop or have my own business, or have my own, like, line. But I can honestly say if I do not have my own shop in 40 years and I am still working backstage, I'll be happy. And I think that's like the end goal, is to just be where I want to be. Like, be happy. Be successful enough to work with, like, Tony and Guy and Paul Mitchell and Vidal Sassoon. But end goal to me is basically just find somewhere where you are happy working. Whether that be in your own salon, whether that be at someone else's salon, whether that be through your own business, whether that be through someone else's business, or whether that be backstage. That's, as long as I'm happy doing what I do best, then I've reached my goal. And currently, as a teenager doing fashion shows and doing theater shows and doing freelance makeup and doing freelance hair and going everywhere and doing all these things, I've reached my 16-year-old goal. And it's something I didn't think I would even be reaching until I was like 20. So I mean, as of right now, I've reached my goal, but the goal does not end here. It broadens. I thought it was done and got food, and now we have more questions. Let's do them. Favorite makeup brand? Why would you ask me this? Okay, if we are talking drugstore, then probably either Maybelline. God, this is hard. Oh my god, this is hard. If we're talking drugstore, then either Elf or Maybelline. If we're talking like high priced, then it's probably gonna be Smashbox. And if we're talking like celebrity, then it is like a cut crease between Kat Von D and Jeffree Star. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. Um I know. And I know those are the two that I should like not be like head to head with, but yeah. Um like out of all makeup, it's definitely gonna be between Kat Von D and Jeffree Star because I like them for different reasons. I like Kat Von D's face stuff and I like her eyeshadows, but Jeffree Star just has his lipsticks are so good. They're so good, guys. I can't. They're so good. Top makeup tip. Oh, y'all already know. My biggest makeup tip is to always have a moisturizer or a primer or some kind of like priming spray or something because if you have bare skin, nothing on your skin, and then you put on makeup, it'll get cakey, it'll get chalky, it won't stay on your skin as long, it won't look as nice. And there are some people who have kind of oily skin and their skin will break and it will come apart and you will peel. And if you have dry skin like me, that stuff will just like it's like literally putting chalk on my face. You need to have a primer, a moisturizer, even mist. I have had days where I'm breaking out so bad that I can't put a primer on because I can't find the right one. So I literally just put water on my face. But that water helps with foundation. It helps when you put on blush. It helps your eyelids. It's just any kind of activating primer will make your makeup go so much longer than if you just go barefaced, like nothing on your face, and then you just want to cake on some makeup. Top makeup do and top makeup don't. So I'm pretty sure I just told you like the top makeup must do, but as for top makeup don't, there's really nothing that I really say that you can't do other than, not moisturizing. Definitely a big don't for me is, I understand even some days I will sleep in makeup, but letting your pores just get filled, putting bare makeup over rashes without like some type of cream over that, especially if you have eczema or if you have like acne, put like hydrocortisone or something over it before you put on makeup, because I totally understand I put so much makeup over my eczema, but I always make sure there's some type of barrier, and or I'll make my own foundation that has some type of like healing ointment in it for when I have bad skin, because you don't want to make it worse. And if you have clogged pores and your skin is like dying and you're having really bad breakouts or really bad, whatever you have, putting more makeup on without stopping to take care of your skin is only going to make it worse. So that's like probably my biggest don't. Don't put it on unless you know what you're putting on, you're okay with what you're putting on, and you understand that if you don't try and protect your skin, that it will get hurt in the process. Like, you have to know what you're putting on your skin. Even I have eczema right here and here and here, and I have like literally every other minute I'm applying some type of ointment to make sure that it's, it's gonna be there, and it's probably gonna be there till the end of the month, but I know it's not getting infected, and I know it's okay, and you need to do that with like everything that you have. The questions keep coming. So I have a question saying, I know you have a soft spot for special needs children. Do you think there would be an avenue where you could combine the two? So I know that's kind of a little, special thing. It's probably like more of a almost like a hidden secret to you guys because I've never really mentioned it on this channel, but I really, I don't know how many people I've even mentioned it to, like, other than my family and like a few other people. But yeah, I really enjoy working with special needs kids, and I have been for a long time now. And I mean, like I said, it's more about like the experience. So what I like to do is I kind of like to combine both fields anyways, if that makes sense, because you can learn a lot about personality and a lot about, just how people function while you spend time doing people's hair and makeup, and you can transfer that onto other things. So I like to use a lot of socializing skills that I would use with doing hair and makeup with special needs children, or the other way around. And I actually like to do that with special needs kids, and also just kids who are like younger. And I think that kind of all evolved from having a bunch of little cousins around me all the time, a lot of whom were special needs, or just like really, really young, and I was like taking care of them all the time. And it kind of really just got me into like learning about why people do this and how people do this, and like how can I help you, what makes this better, what helps you progress. And I kind of like to take that knowledge and kind of put it into when I do makeup for other people, or when I do costumes, or when I do services for other people, because it's all the same thing. The entire goal is to make you happy and to give you some sort of progress. And so I've never really thought about it, but I've always just kind of fused the two, like it's the really simplistic things. I know there was one theater program that I really wanted to get into where it was like just special needs kids, and I really want to do a program like that someday. And I know they have a few in LA, so that's something I really want to do. I really want to do a special needs program in LA, and I also really want to get with the second language programs as well, because I know that they put on a few plays, especially here in this side of California where you're right next to the border. You have a lot of schools that are primarily for second language learners, and that's another area of people I've always like grew up around. And I was actually put in those classes for like a long time. They had me in those classes up until I was like in 5th or 6th grade. I don't even understand why. I think it was because I had a really heavy accent. I think you've heard this story before, but yeah, I grew up around those people, and so I've always grown up just kind of like working with them, and like I love it. I love it. I love to find something that they love to do. That's like, I like to find something that makes them happy, because that makes me happy. And I like working with programs that make them happy. And so I really want to find a second language and a special needs. I know those are like nothing near each other, but I like both of those programs for theater or makeup or fashion design or modeling, because I really like finding those people and just like giving them something to be happy about, if that makes sense. Another day, another sleigh. Hopping onto my Instagram, the first question I see is, how do you decide what colors to use on a model? Oh, so a lot of models, or well, in general, most of the time when I do makeup for models or for theater or for freelance, people already have an idea of the colors that they want. You rarely really go to a show where they say, oh, well, just do whatever you want. In the shows where I design the makeup, then I do get to pick the colors that the people wear, especially for like theater. Oh, oof, I love. But even with theater, or whenever I'm making my own collection, the director still has an input. So the director really says, you know, I want this character to have this look. I want this character to have this color. So even when I do design the makeup looks and I'm the one that's doing the makeup and I kind of get free range, it's still kind of within like a little box. It's very rarely that I get to like really go all out. Usually I get to go all out only on myself. That's about it. But as far as like picking colors when I do go free range, or when I do get to kind of choose, you know, what color really goes with her, I go a lot based off of skin tone and a lot actually based off of personality. So there are a lot of people who have like, I don't know, a brown skin tone, let's say like a Latino, more Mexican skin tone, like that kind of red, like deep farmer's tan, and you know, you can always do a brown or a bronze, but I really like to go and dig into blues, and I like to go and dig into greens. There are some people that I like to dig in with reds and yellows with, who are also like a really deep skin tone. African American skin, there's like no color that you can't. Honestly, if someone says that you have colors that you can't put on your skin, they're a liar. They are lying. No. African American skin, y'all can wear any color on the rainbow as long as it is bright. As long as it's bright, you'll look pretty. Same with like these white kind of pasty looking skin. There's really no color that you can't wear. So as far as skin tone, it really just, I go off of character and personality. So what is this person portraying, and who are they, you know? What do I get from them is kind of what I base my makeup colors off of. This next question is lengthy. Okay. You're very busy with dance team, choreographing, organizing. Are you still involved with theater? You have an AP English and you're still tutoring kids after school, and then you make videos for your YouTube channel and keep your Instagram account and do fashion shows. How difficult is it for you to manage all this? There's like 3 questions within this question. So let's get started with the first one. Are you still involved with theater? Yes! So I actually got home from day 2 of tech rehearsal for the Crucible right now. Yeah, I'm exhausted, honestly. It's a lot of exertion, you know, teching. I do backstage, running crew. Like, we have so little people in this tech that I'm doing that it's like everyone does everything. Everyone is a part of everything, and so it's fun. I mean, I love theater, but this one particular play is like taking everything out of me. And I also feel like it's winter, so like I'm just drained anyways. The next question is, are you still tutoring kids after school? Yes, so I myself am getting tutoring during school, and then after school on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday. And once in a while, in between weekends, when I have like a free hour and a half, I tutor from like mini ranges. So it's basically whatever you need tutoring with, I will help you. Math is not my strong point, but I am really good with factoring and polynomials, and I'm really good with things that have to do with computer technology, and I'm really good with English, I'm really good with history. I tutor. And I tutor from ages, I believe it's like 5 ranging into my age, so around like 15, 16. And it just kind of depends on who contacts me and when they contact me. I have parents who contact me from the elementary school that's near my school, asking for like certain like days, could you tutor my kid for this or this or this. And if I know the person, then I'll do it for free, and then if not, then I'll be like, yeah, $5. And then the sessions is as long as the kid needs it to be, because I don't really believe in the like whole like only 1 hour session. I think if a kid really needs help, then they should get that help like for as long as they need. So yes, to answer that question, I do still tutor. And you make videos for your YouTube channel and keep up your Instagram account, and you do fashion shows. How difficult is it for you to manage all this? It's hard. It is very hard for me to manage all this. I credit a lot of it to being in a Latin household. When I was young, we were kind of like always going. And I also credit to being ADHD. Which was another reason we were like always going in my house, because I literally could not sleep. When I was little, I would sleep for 20 minutes every, I don't know, like 5 hours, and that was it. I didn't like have that long night of sleep. I would not sleep. I was so ADHD, I always needed to be doing something, and so I feel like that does help me be able to do so many jobs and do so many like different things and be like constantly going, because I can't sit at home and do nothing. I feel like sick to my stomach if I literally just sit at home and watch TV all day. Like I get so bored. So it is really hard. I have 3 planners. That one is for business, one is just for schoolwork, and one is for like my daily life, like what am I doing each day. And they're like filled out to the brim all the time. So it's hard. But for me personally, I wouldn't have it any other way. Another question, do you watch Stranger Things and love it? You're gonna hate me. I don't watch Stranger Things. I started, but I do not like scary anything. Pan's Labyrinth, we're watching that in Spanish right now, and I am crying and screaming my head off. I hate scary things. And so Stranger Things was something that I couldn't get into because it had to do with monsters. And I know a lot of people always hear me like going off about, oh my god, I love American Horror Story. But the thing I found about American Horror Story is that it's gore. And I've been exposed to gore movies since I was like a baby. Like I was watching Excalibur, Lord of the Rings, all these like crazy adventure movies where people get shot all the time, like literally from when I was in the room. It's nothing to me. Gore is nothing. It's the monsters mixed with just how emotional it is. I can't take other people's emotions very well. I read them so heavily and I get like so involved that I feel like I'm feeling that person's pain and it just sickens me. And so especially with the whole mom thing in Stranger Things and the lights, and I couldn't do it. I had to stop. I was so scared and I was just getting so emotional that I had to stop. So I feel like if I watched season 2, because I love 11, I love her. She is a darling. I feel like if I watched season 2, I would love it. Um, but I don't know. I couldn't stick it out. Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll try this summer to stick it out, but I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Alright, this one is kind of funny. I am on Facebook right now, and there's a question. Is there anything one can do to help cover a slight bald spot? Not for me, I'm asking for a friend, of course. Also, he wants to know what he can do to slim his appearance. Let's get into it. So, I know there are tons and tons of products that supposedly, either give you new hair or shadow in new hair. But all that really comes from is shading. And shading is where you go into your hairline. Like, say if I was a little bit darker, I could do this. And you go in with an eyeshadow and you actually put loose eyeshadow in and you brush it into your hair, and that gives you like the sense of having thicker hairline. And I know a lot of YouTubers do that, and I've seen them do that. I've also seen it done on a lot of Asian girls, because they tend to have very thin hair, and so they have like this little part right here where it's like it's so thin you can see it, and so they will go in and they'll shade. And something that a guy can do is they can kind of do the same thing and almost like give the sense of almost a 5 o'clock shadow on their head with literally just like brown eyeshadow. I never really go black unless the person is extremely dark, but just like get light eyeshadow on kind of a stipple brush, very not very soft, like a very kind of almost like paintbrushy feeling, one of those brushes that you would get like in a blush kit, and you just go ahead and you put it into your hairline all around. As far as a slim figure, a lot of people actually get this wrong. People who tend to be bigger actually wear like, very loose clothes to make them look a lot thinner than they are. Well, I can tell you, this is an extra large shirt. But when I take this off, I am like a lot smaller than that. Like, this is the tummy on this shirt. This is my tummy under that. Like, that's a good amount of difference. So, when you go and you try and wear something bigger to make it look like it's the stuff you're wearing itself that's bigger, the material, you're just making yourself look bigger. So something that I do is I say, wear something that is fitted to your body. Not something that clings to your body, not something that is, tight, but something that actually fits you, like 100%. You feel comfortable in it. It's not too big and it's not too small. Another thing is pants make a difference. And that is something that goes for whether you're like tiny or large. I really like pants that rise up to here on me, because I look skinny now, but if I bring these down, it'll look like I have a tummy. And that's something that I find for boys and girls. So with men, I always say, find something that you can comfortably wear up to maybe your mid-rise to your belly button. And that really helps to give you like a nice shape. It's more shape. Other than that, I can also say layers. So a shirt and a jacket style counts for everything. You can look, extremely huge in just a shirt and like plain cargo shorts, or you can have style and swag, and that kind of overlooks weight gain, which is something that I learned from self-experience. Is it hard doing hair and makeup on all skin tones and hair textures. I noticed 90% of your models are Mexican, African American, or have darker skin tones. How do you start doing work on multi-ethnic skin tones? A lot of this comes from being raised in the Central Valley, Fresno. I was the only white kid in my school. And when I say that, I actually mean I was the only white kid. There were no African American kids. There were no white kids. There were no even Puerto Ricans. It was all Mexican, like from Mexico. That's all that there was at my school. Now they're starting to get more Anglo kids at my school, or not my school, but at the high school that my grandma works at, where I used to live. And they're starting to get like a few multi-ethnic, mixed kids in there. But it was a very Mexican town that I lived in. And when I wasn't around that Mexican community, I was in downtown Fresno. And in downtown Fresno, it's all about where can I get my weave from? Where can I get a weave for $5? Where's my, I don't know, extensions? Where is this? Where's that? It was, it's things that white people generally do not ask for. I grew up with literally 99-cent stores did not have a shade lighter than tan. You know what 99-cent store tan looks like? That brown. They did not have it. Everything was for really dark skin, so I just got used to seeing that all the time. And when I did do people's hair when I was like a little itty bitty baby, it was always Latina hair, African American hair. It was never what I saw here. So when I came here, it was actually harder for me to learn how to do white people hair, as I call it. It's not, racially correct, but it's what I call it. It's very, you have that thin, a little bit wavy, sometimes just plain flat blonde hair. There was no curl to it. There was no thickness. There was no kink. And it was actually harder for me to learn to work with that type of hair because I had never experienced it before. And so for me, it was nothing that I ever thought about as, oh, I'm the only one in my little town that can do this. So as far as skin tones, I don't really see a difference between that and just finding pigment. It's kind of just you base it off with the color wheel. If someone is African American with a goldish undertone, then you're gonna use reds on them. If someone is Latina and has black hair and has a kind of goldy, almost goldy brown, almost ashy skin tone, then you're gonna use blues on them. It's not something that I ever had to think about. I can picture the color wheel in my mind before I even look at their skin tone, and I just know, oh, I'm gonna use these colors on them. So that's all I can really say to that. It's not something I really thought of before. So I guess we are diving into some funny questions. On Snapchat, I was asked, how do you not get mad at moms when they're being mean? Okay. Let's do this. So, number one, I am not saying that I don't get mad. I get mad, and when I get mad, I can either be boiling with rage to the point that I am going to break something, and I want to break something, and I literally just need to leave the house and take a breather, or I just shut down, and I'm everything goes black. I try not to get to those points. There are times where me and my mom are not chill with each other, and I'm really into psychology, so I always try and find out, you know, why, what can fix this. And I really think it just comes down to understanding both sides of the opinion, or both sides of the argument, um, and understand why they have that opinion is something that you always need to ask. It's always about asking why, um, and you know, for what reason, and kind of just questions like that. And you need to ask that on both sides, because I feel like sometimes we get so carried up in, oh, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, that you have to realize, well, even if I am right, and even if I know I'm right, why do they think I'm wrong? And is the reason why they think I'm wrong justifiable due to what they believe or know? And that's like the best advice I can actually give. But that is something I really do like to look into. I really like to get into psychology, as you guys know, and so that's one of the things I really like to study, is how we can better bonds and relationships that can be extremely toxic with things like as simple as a question. How often do you poke your eyes with eyeliner pencil? Screw you. This is a constant daily struggle. If you do your waterline and bottom lashes with um, eyeliner pencil, then you know the pain of having a slightly too sharp pencil, and then there's that little edge, and you're doing your nice little line, and it just jabs you in the eye, and you're just like, I'm done. This is the look for today. Blind. Could you ever leave the house without any makeup on? Only in tech week, baby. Only in tech week. What celebrities inspire your style? Ooh, I have a few celebrities that actually inspire my style, because my style has like this broad spectrum from like punk to like classy chic to like Latina dead in the center. I think for my very, you know, chic, going out for a night on the town, it's very much like things that you would see at Forever 21. It's those like very skinny cocktail dresses with tons of glitter. And people that I see wearing things like that would be like, I think you pronounce her name Dua Lipa. I'm probably saying that totally wrong. It's not my accent. Another person who has really inspired me would definitely be Selena and Frida Kahlo. I mean, you can obviously see on my Instagram how much like inspiration and how much stuff I get from them. I adore them like to no end. I love the way they blended colors. I love the way they blended fashion with Latin culture. I love their fashion. So I definitely get a lot of my kind of Latino, kind of like aesthetically like feminist fashion from them. I get a lot of my punk fashion from, I guess you would say, like, oh well, it ranges. So I have like the LA drag queen kind of punk, where it's kind of like glitz and glam, but a little not so much glitz and glam. It's very dark. It's basically Joy Ramone, but a drag queen, which is another inspiration of mine. I love like the Ramones fashion. I have like two leather jackets. I get a lot of inspiration from like old school punk bands who are literally just wearing like a ripped up shirt and like jeans. Because like I kind of like that look a lot. Actually, I like that look a lot. And I kind of just think it's really DIY, and that's what I like about it, is that I get to kind of just wear whatever I want, and I can make ripped up nastiness look kind of cool. Another style. Who else? Who else really? I would say a lot of male YouTubers give me a lot of style choices because I've always been into button-ups. I love button-ups. I think they look just as amazing on girls as they do on guys if you pick the right ones. And so a lot of male YouTubers I kind of go to for that really urban, trendy button-up fashion. Alicia Carrar, I love her, and I love her very, like, flannel, very, like, modern but laid-back fashion is what I would say that I like about her. Icona Pop, I like their fashion just because it's just, like, it's so nightclubby. It's very, like, it's something that I can really mix with a lot of my other fashion choices, so I really take a lot of things from them, too. When I'm trying to dress, like, more than this. So, yeah, there's a lot of aspects and celebrities that I get my style from. It's just a very broad range because my style is a lot. What was your first makeup item that was yours? Okay, so, I started off doing a lot of my makeup, like, with my mom's stuff, but the first thing actually the first two things, because I can't remember which one I got first. First two things I remember having was there was a little flower eyeshadow kit, and it had all of these really bright pastel eyeshadows, and I remember wearing the bright blue one to school, like, almost every single day, and you could hardly even see the eyeshadows. I remember having to dig into the pans and, like, scrape it onto my eyelid. I think I was, like, in 4th grade, so I was, like, around 9 or 10, and I was, like, trying so hard to get the eyeshadow on my eye. And then, the second thing I remember having, which was one of, like, my first things, was a clear mascara, because I thought that you were supposed to have mascara that matched your eyelashes, and so I was going around with clear mascara and bright blue eyeshadow. Why do you never wear fake lashes? Rude, but this is true. This is actually true. I don't wear fake lashes because, number one, my eyelashes are already so long, I don't really feel the need to wear fake lashes. And number two, whenever I do feel the need to wear fake lashes do not feel the need to wear me. And they will cause my eye and my eczema to be so irritated that it's like, it won't even apply to my skin. Like, it will just burn. I've never found a glue that does not hurt. I've never found eyelashes that doesn't hurt. And I've ranged from having used $20 lashes to $1 lashes. Like, it doesn't matter the brand. It doesn't matter the glue. It just, they don't work on my skin. How did you accumulate so much makeup / how much do you shop for makeup? So, I think at first it was like an addiction. It was just something I was really good at, and I kind of went through this, like, almost emo stage in Korea, where I was wearing a lot of blacks and a lot of silvers and a lot of whites and reds, and it kind of just grew from there, you know. I needed a palette that had this type of black, and I needed a palette that had this type of silver, and a palette that had this type of red, and then it just grew into, oh, damn, I can actually do this, and people actually want me to do this on them. And so then I started getting more makeup, and then I started getting makeup for my theater, and I needed makeup for that. So by the time I got to high school, I had, like, enough makeup to, like, scatter across an entire, like, table or plethora of ocean. Like, I had so much that I've actually given so much away or thrown so much away because I actually hoarded. Like, it was not okay. I had way too much. But I do go and, I mean, it's not even that I go and look for makeup. It's just I constantly go to places that have makeup that I like, or has cheap makeup, or has, like, I don't know. It just I always just end up in places that have makeup, and then I always just end up going to the places that have makeup, and I just always end up going in that aisle, and then I always end up picking up a few eyeshadows or 10, and then I always end up just, oh, well, look at me, I'm in line with all of the, how did these get here? And then, like, my bank account's like, you know how. You know how. But, yeah, I just accumulate, and I like that I accumulate, because then I feel okay when I go and throw stuff away. And it's really good to have a lot of things, especially when you work with, like, such a wide variety of people and models, and, like, it's good to have more than to have less and not have what you need to do someone's makeup. How many products do you use in your hair, like, on a normal day? There is a bucket back there with all of my hair. This isn't even half of it. There's an entire bucket. So on a normal day, when my hair is extremely, like, curly, let's see, okay, so I will wash my hair at least with conditioner, usually every day to every other day. And then I will come out of the shower and I will put the silkener in it, and then I will go and put curl cream in it. Then when it is mid-dry and damp, I will put a, what is it called? Mousse in it. I will put a curling mousse in it. And then on days where I like to have it really big, I will also, once it is dry, I will go ahead and I will put a dry shampoo in it right in back to give it that lift. And then just to really define the curls, I will go in and put hairspray and just kind of scrunch, so to make sure that nothing, like, kind of falls or droops, because really you have kind of semi-long curly hair, it will droop in front of your face and it gets really annoying. So, like, I use a lot of products, and then I also, on middays when I'm not using shampoo, or no, the day after I use shampoo, actually, I go ahead and I'll put a little tiny bit of tea tree oil or polish in my hair. So it takes a lot to keep it up, and I haven't been keeping it up, and that's why it is up in a bun, because ain't nobody need to see it. I am back with better clothes, a Santa hat, and yet another question. I have 2 questions. How many hours do you practice a week, and how do you come up with your ideas? So, how much I practice a week kind of varies and depends on what I'm doing that week. So this week I'm getting no practice on myself, but I'm doing tons of people's hair and tons of people's makeup, and so that's practice on its own. And then when I have time to do my own makeup, let's see, I would estimate if I take around 30 minutes to an hour every day, that's 7 days a week, probably minus, like, 1 day. I'm gonna say I take around 30 minutes to do my makeup, and then if that takes around 6 days, then I guess, so I'm gonna say around 6 hours-ish a week. But at the same time, I do have days like this where I'm doing people's makeup, like, off and on all day. But on an average, on myself, around 6 hours a week. And when I do shows, I practice all day, every day. No, honestly, I probably practice around 12 hours for that entire week, if that makes sense. So it really does just kind of vary. And then for the next question, what really inspires my looks? What do they say? How do they word it? How do you come up with your ideas? I honestly I have some days where I sit down and I'm like, you know what? I have something that I really need to do. What am I gonna wear? I like to base my makeup off of my outfits. So I'll have my outfit, and then I'll choose colors in that outfit that I want to be on my eye. And so then I take those colors out. And then from there, I just kind of go, and I just kind of wing it. I really do. I just kind of wing it. I can just kind of read an outfit, and from the outfit, I will know what I want to do with the makeup. And if it's something where it's like theater makeup, or let's say something for like a cosplay, or like something for Halloween, then I will take the time and I will do the makeup the day before and then make any edits the day after. But things that inspire me to do my makeup are honestly the thing that I'm wearing at the moment. Or if I have to do like a time-based piece, I really like to go back and find, things in that time that I can kind of mix with like surrounding culture. So let's say when I did Sweet Charity, everyone's really into cut creases and everyone's into really big eyeliner. So I really took that and I added it to the very, flappery makeup, and the very, like, you have those big cut crease, like, twiggy eyes and stuff like that. And I tried to add both timepieces together and really, like, have a sense of, almost a sense of, like, I don't know, realness to it. Like, it's not this, like, fake made up thing. It's like this, it's a real look. It's not like a fake look. I want it to look real, and I want it to feel real, if that makes sense. And so that's something that I really like to kind of input into my makeup when I do makeup ideas that aren't just for, like, me every day. I'm sorry, I keep, like, itching my face, and I don't really know why. I think I'm having, like, a really bad eczema breakout right now. So I, like, keep itching right here, and 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 just all over. I just want to, with my face right now. I'm so sorry. If that grosses you out, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I just really, I get my ideas from a lot of things. Or some days I'll just see someone wearing something. I'm just like, oh, you know what? I really want to do that. And then I just do it. I get a lot of my ideas from Instagram. I get a lot of my ideas from other people's fashion. I get a lot of my ideas from blending cultures. I love blending punk rock with Latin. I love blending drag with Latin. I love blending drag with punk. And I know that, as a girl, I'm not really supposed to do drag or whatever, but I started off doing my heavy theater makeup for drag queens. So I just always kind of had that, like, kind of subculture that I've always just kind of been involved in. And so that's another preference that I kind of use when I do makeup. So, fun fact. Okay guys, Q&A, just like the Crucible, is finally over, and I can finally go back to actually having a style and putting on makeup and putting on these things called nice clothes. If you still have questions you want to ask me, my comment section is always open. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. I really hope you liked this video, even though it's really, really long. Please leave a like and a subscribe, and I will see you later. I live my day as if it was the last. Live my day as if there was no past. Doing it all night, all summer.